Recognized. Secretary Nadia Xavier from Hoxie Elementary. Secretary Jessica Mello from Sherman Elementary. Special Educator Tricia Gervasini from Park Elementary. Elementaries. Kindergarten Teacher Assistant Mary Burgess from Holloman. Teacher Assistant Alexia Tabiri from Lippett Elementary. Custodian Jerry Salas from Pilgrim High School. And I do believe grade 1 teacher Sue Fox from Warwick Neck is here tonight. And finally, we have music teacher Patrick Shea from Veterans Middle School here.
Thank you, Ms. Jakes, and congratulations on behalf of the Warwick School Committee to all of our April Spotlight winners, both present and non-present. At this time, I would offer up to my colleagues if they'd like to join me and the superintendent down on the floor. Maybe Ms. Tedeschi, I don't know if your amazing services are needing again for this meeting, but we have a great lineup of individuals being acknowledged this evening. There is one item for my colleagues for their knowledge. Under recognition, the Pilgrim High School competition cheerleaders who won the Division II state championship. They're not here tonight because what are they doing? They're cheering for the unified team. So they passed up on getting recognized, so we've got them docketed for June, so we're going to take it off for tonight. But if you guys want to join me down below, and anyone who's here who is wearing a suit jacket, possibly without a tie, if they want to come forward to the microphone and help present certificates. Thank you.
Are we good to go? Good evening, everybody. Members of the school committee that are behind me, and Superintendent McCaffrey and everybody. We are here tonight to recognize our students from the Warwick Area Career Technical Center for their Skills USA accomplishments. We have a number of students who placed this year gold, silver, and bronze. We're recognizing our gold medalists that are going to be competing at the National Skills Conference down in Atlanta, Georgia in June. First week in June, we'll be heading for that. So first one that I would like to recognize is Damien St. Laurent.
Thank you.
Good job. You go right down the line. We're gonna get a picture, Damien. So go up behind the railing, please. Okay. All right. Our second student who is not present tonight is Victoria Zisserson. Another one not present is Jaira Edmonds. Matthew Brunel. Okay. Andrew Flintz. And now I know is present, Sophia D'Angelo. Good job, Sophia. Benjamin Duran. Present tonight, Michael Davis. Good job. Stephanie Pratt. Good job, Stephanie. Jacob Filbert, I don't believe is here. But Callie Hidalgo Stafford is here. Good job, Callie. Frances Cronin, not here, has to work. And I saw her walk in. Sadie Scotty, where are you? There you are. And then also from the Career Center, associated with Project MFG, we have Haley Clem, who she recently competed last week in San Diego at the Project MFG national competition when she qualified a few weeks ago at the Providence regional competition. So she qualified and went out to San Diego last week, so congratulations. All right, and that's all of them for skills. So those are all of our skills competitors in Project MFG. Congratulations to all of you guys. Guys, get up to the railing so we can take a picture, please. Superintendent McCaffrey will probably want to go up there with School Committee Chairman Galligan.
I don't want to break the camera.
When I got old enough like you are.
Are you getting in with us?
If you could, sure. For our next portion, I invite Chef Niosi to come on down as we acknowledge our ProStart winners on the national level. For the ProStart competition and those that competed on the national level in Baltimore, Maryland, we are very happy to recognize and congratulate the following students. Given their busy schedules, we are only able to acknowledge one in person tonight for culinary and two for the management portion. So when you hear your name, please come on down and receive your award and congratulations from the superintendent and school committee. We are happy to recognize and congratulate Anthony Morales, Richard Desmaris, Gianna Jafreda, Jalen Huffman, Anissa Gill, Liliana Lunsman, Alexiana Medeiros, Tyler Hartley, and Liam McGloin. Gianna is also one of our state officers for Skills USA, so congratulations to Gianna as well. And finally, for the Electrathon competition and those who represented Warwick in the Lakeville, Connecticut competition, winning first place in the novice portion, we recognize and congratulate, and I also invite Mr. Kugler to come on down with us, our CAD teacher, who will help with distribution of the awards. We recognize and congratulate Jason Smeagol, Brody Berard, Andrea Lopez, Jason Bender, and Bronx Arnold. Congratulations, guys. Great work.
All right, come on, it's the third time around. Move over. Get away from the speaker. Come on.
Actually, Mr. McCaffrey, I think I might have accidentally picked up that piece of paper that was right here on the podium. I gave it to you. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to take a minute to congratulate all of you successful award recipients that just received your awards. Very impressive. Tonight, when we come to celebrate one of our athletic successes, it's very hard to win a championship, and what this team did this year had an extra special challenge. There's been a rapid decline in participation in several sports, one of them being women's ice hockey at the high school level, and as a result, there are co-ops formed throughout the whole state. In an effort to make sure we have the proper number of players to participate and compete, we formed a new co-op this year, consisting of Pilgrim, Tollgate, LaSalle, and West Warwick. Their initials were TRPW, and a lot of you that don't follow hockey would ask, what does that mean? So I'm going to give you a little lessons. It's Titans, Rams, Patriots, and Wizards. That's why it was labeled TRPW. So the 25-26 season marked the first year of this newly formed ice hockey co-op. LaSalle girls who joined the co-op are no strangers towards being towards the top of the division each year. However, their numbers drastically dropped this year also, and that's why they were added to our co-op. But the Warwick and West Warwick teams haven't visited the championship game since 2015. As we know, there are several hurdles that take place when forming a new co-op. The team needs to find an identity. The coaches must get together and figure out what their collective philosophy is going to be. Competitive schedule has to be formulated. The players have to figure out their talent balance and battle for playing time. Players that were once first-line players may now be third-line players. There are so many aspects that go into forming a new co-op. The fact that this team was able to figure this out so quickly is a credit to everybody involved. The coaches, the players, the parents, everybody. Throughout the season, there were certainly some bumps along the way. The team didn't win every game. In fact, there were some significant losses that may have led to some questions about the makeup of the team. In order for the team to succeed, the players need to understand and buy into their new role as a team. The coaches had to figure out what group of players worked best, et cetera, et cetera. It was evident as the season progressed that the team was moving in the right direction. The team played teams from New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. They really went up the medal against the medal of some of the best teams in New England. They did a lot of traveling from state to state and spent a lot of time not only playing together, but forming a team bond. The team really started to gel. While there were new faces, their goal stayed the same. They wanted to win. The challenging out-of-state schedule certainly prepared the team for their playoff run that they went on. Every weekend they played some of the best talent around, and it would teach them what it would take to beat the best teams in our state. The progress of this team was evident throughout the season. While some may have recognized it at the time, or haven't recognized it at the time, we can look back now and see through the progress playing the teams in the semifinal and final games. And I just wanted to share a little history about that. During the season, when we competed against Smithfield, Coventry, Moses Brown Co-op, they defeated our team the first game 5-1. In the second game, the game ended in a tie, 3-3. And in the semifinals, we beat them 2-1 in a very exciting double overtime thriller. I remember being at the rink at that time, and the other team had one exceptional player. While we had many exceptional players out there, this player happened to be super fast. And I said, "Oh my God!" Well, as the hockey goes down, which I didn't know, they keep eliminating a player. So we were down to only a few players on the ice, and we pulled off a very thrilling victory. It's how hard our girls worked. What a testament to them. And then during the regular season, the South County teams defeated us the first competition at 4-1. The next time we faced them, they beat us 2-1. The third contest game ended in a tie. So the signs were all there. This team was getting better and better and believing in themselves. And in the final matchup versus the South Kingston Co-op, our girls shut out the SK team with a final score of 2-0 in the championship. And it's just a testament to everybody involved, the work that the coaches did with this group, how the kids bought into what the coaches were doing, and how they came together to just get better. It's a testament for any young student to model. And so this brings us to the reason that we're all here tonight, to honor the Division I Rhode Island Girls State Champions. Our first recipient is Dominique Johnson. Greta Tomka. Thank you. Lauren Bastine. No. It's Lauren. Yep. Layla Onepo. Bridie Murphy. Madison Brown. Stella Blue Kraus. Megan McNally. Caitlin Dione. Isabel Loudon. Haley Clem. Claudia Bria. Julia Myers. Selena Fernandez de la Mela. Riley Sullivan. Noelle Pizzelli. Justina Ladino. Anna Lee Semio. It's my eyes, not my pronunciation. Can't see, sorry. Shannon Shea. Kaylee Butler. And Sarah Edgar. And then, of course, our amazing coaching staff. Holly Scott Horhy, Don Centracchio, and Maddie Belatowski. The 2025-26 Rhode Island State Girls Ice Hockey Champions.
Hi, how are you? I'm Holly. Nice to meet you. I'm Holly. How you doing?
Congratulations again to all of our individuals tonight who are recognized, both from the ProStart and our Career and Tech Center, as well as the D1 state champions for girls hockey. So. At this time, I'd be looking for a vote to go into closed session for discussion and/or action regarding those items of business exempt from open meetings under Rhode Island General Laws. RIGL 42-46-5A1, A2, A4, A8, and A9. Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We're in executive session at 6:01 p.m. Time is now 6:38 p.m. I'm calling back to order the meeting of the Warwick School Committee for the month of May. I'm looking for a motion to seal the minutes of executive session. Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. There were no votes taken in executive session. At this time, we're on to public comment on agenda items. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and the administration alike will be respectful of each other's right to speak, tolerant of different points of view, and mindful of everyone's time. This public comment period is for agenda items only. A second public comment session is available later in the meeting for all other topics or concerns. Members of the public are permitted to speak during both public comment periods. Speakers are kindly asked to state their name for the record. For those new to our meetings, the podium is down here to the left where Ms. Landry is. We just ask that you please turn that microphone on, and again, start by speaking with your name for the record. Sticking to the 3 minutes, we'll notify you when there's 30 seconds remaining. And then last but certainly not least, we just ask that you just come one after another when the podium is available. So, Ms.
Okay,
Landry?
so I may be up here at the wrong time. I'm looking at the agenda. I'm seeing WTU layoffs. Is it appropriate to talk about that now?
Yes, ma'am. You may talk
Okay.
about it now.
Okay. So my name is Michelle Landry. I am the Science Department Chairperson at Tollgate High School. At the Tollgate Science Department, we had a teacher retire last year, and that teacher was not replaced. So we lost 2 electives, Contemporary Issues in Science and the Science of Science Fiction, very popular among seniors. We also have not run AP Chemistry in several years because AP Chemistry is one of the most difficult AP classes to take, and there's only a handful of kids who want to take that class because they intend to do something with it in college. We don't meet that 12 body criteria, so it's been cut for the last 3 to 4 years. I lost track. On the chopping block for next year, because after last week's meeting, you talked about eliminating 18 positions, and I sent an email asking, what can you give me specifics about the 18 positions? I didn't find out until Friday when Ms. Culinary was allowed to tell me that I am losing another person in science. So on the chopping block as a result of that, Forensics 1 and 2, Astronomy, Marine Science, Anatomy Physiology, Environmental Field Studies, and AP Physics 1 and 2. Possibly AP Bio, I think we have 10 kids. We might reach the 12, I'm not sure yet. As of right now, we don't. We offer honors and non-honors elective classes in order to engage students in scientific inquiry and to develop 21st century STEM skills. We need staff to offer these courses. In addition to our biochemistry, physical science requirements, we also have to staff 4 IASE rooms and 1 SES room. With the staff I have now, the honors and non-honors electives are in terrible jeopardy for next year. And it is a travesty. So I didn't know last week when we were discussing the budget that this might happen. I was totally oblivious. I am extremely concerned, and I would hope that you would rethink passing that budget and making these. I know you passed the budget already, but be careful about the layoffs that you make because you are decimating
30
science.
seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Landry.
My name is Rachel O'Leary. I am a Warwick teacher, Warwick taxpayer, and a parent of a Warwick student. I've been a science teacher at Tollgate for the last 6 years, and I'm also the freshman class advisor, and my son is in kindergarten at Park Elementary. I developed an environmental science elective class that focuses on project-based learning, field trips, and engaging with various community partners to learn about our city and what we can do to protect it. We have done water sampling at the Patuxent River with the Stormwater Innovation Center through the Audubon Society. We planted a native pollinator garden with the Warwick Wildlife Commission to beautify Brayton Cemetery. We've picked up trash at Kinnimaket Point, and I literally just found out yesterday I am the recipient of a $500 grant to do a conservation project with Save the Bay regarding salt marshes in Warwick for next year. My class is a non-honors full-year environmental science elective class open to anyone interested, including my IASC students, and I have over 15 students in the class currently, with more still signing up as of last week. If you cut my science position, my environmental science class, along with several other elective classes, including AP science classes, will disappear, and our students will be more disconnected from opportunities to engage with authentic science in our local community. Last year, we lost a science position due to a retirement. His position was never refilled, so we're already down one science position from last year. We cannot afford any more cuts to our science department. If we only have a handful of elective classes to offer, we're going to lose even more students to other districts than we're already losing now. Our students are going to go to Pontiac, North Kingston, and other districts in droves if we have no higher level science classes to offer them, which means we're going to lose even more money. My son will be at Tollgate in 8 years, and I want him to have options to take classes that pique his interest. He's extremely interested in science right now and is asking questions left and right about everything, as 5-year-olds do. How can I send him to a high school that has nothing to offer him aside from the basic graduation requirements? We need to think about the future of Warwick and what we want for our kids. Removing options is just going to drive more families out of our city schools and put us even further in debt than we already are.
Thank you, Ms. O'Leary.
Good evening. My name is Melanie Denoyan. I've been with Warwick Public Schools for 24 years, 12 as an early childhood special educator and 12 as a DPT. I understand the district is facing a difficult budget situation, and I know the school committee and Steve Carter are being asked to make hard decisions. I speak tonight with respect for that reality. What I want to speak about is tonight is the elimination of one of our DPT positions at Welk. Because this is such a specialized role, it can be difficult to fully understand the scope of the responsibilities without direct experience in the position, since I know most of you have never held and don't even know what a DPT is or does. As DPTs, we're responsible for evaluations for preschools suspected of having special needs, including testing, observations, report writing, IEPs, parent communication, scheduling meetings, coordinating with providers, EI staff, and completing a great deal of paperwork, and maintaining compliance with the state and federal guidelines and timelines. This year alone, our district has now received 221 preschool referrals. I also want to clarify that special education enrollment is not directly tied to the number of referrals. You can have a high referrals and a number of kids qualifying. It can go vice versa. Because of that, enrollment data alone does not reflect the actual workload. Keep in mind, with 3-year-olds, it's a rolling admission. Currently, that workload is shared by 3 DPTs. If one position is eliminated, which is proposed, the remaining 2 staff members would each be responsible for over 100 referrals per year. 2 years ago, we carefully analyzed this role by breaking down every responsibility, I have all the data, and calculating the actual time needed to complete the work appropriately and with fidelity. Based on that analysis, the realistic capacity was determined to be approximately 75 referrals per year with 3 DPTs. I have the numbers if you want them. That means the current proposal would require the DPTs to complete responsibilities beyond what can realistically be accomplished within the constraints of my school day. I say this respectfully but honestly, as the position currently exists, the 2 people cannot realistically complete 200 referrals per year, maintaining compliance and the quality of evaluations and IEPs our students and families deserve. Parents come to us worried, overwhelmed, looking for answers for their child during this critical development years. I understand the need for budget reductions. But I respectfully ask the committee to carefully consider whether eliminating this position may ultimately create larger problems with compliance and meeting the needs of our youngest learners and their families. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Steph Catanzaro, Tollgate High School. This is my 21st year teaching and a taxpayer in Warwick as well. In 2022, I had an AP Physics class with 4 students. That's all that signed up. That's all that was necessary to run the course just 4 years ago.
I'm sorry, can I pause your time real quick? Could
Yes.
you restate your name for me one more time?
Stephanie Catanzaro.
Thank you very much.
The next couple of years, I had higher enrollment, no questions asked about running the courses. Last year, I had 6 students request Physics 2 AP. I was told the number was increased to 8. So both AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2 were canceled for this current school year. Now I have 10 students interested in Physics 1 AP, and I'm told the number is up to 12. So you're cutting AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2 for a second year in a row. And I fear that when you cut the science position that's on the table right now, there will never be room in the schedule for AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2, AP Biology, Marine Science, Environmental Science. That's not an AP class. My students came to me and told me that they were asked to take another class. My department head was never informed, and I was never informed that the classes would not run. My students came to me and told me that. There's a lack of respect in this situation, and I hope you consider not cutting another science position in 2 years. We lost one last year that never got fulfilled, and we're losing another one this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Myers, and I have 3 children in this district, and me following her was not planned. I'm here tonight because a proposed cut to a science teacher position at Tollgate is not just a budget line, it's the elimination of AP Physics 1 and 2 and AP Biology from our students' schedules. These are not extras. These are the courses college admissions offices look for. My daughter is planning to apply to competitive colleges, and without these AP Science courses on her transcript, her options will be significantly narrowed. You are not just cutting a teacher, you are cutting her future. Tollgate state ratings are already struggling. Removing AP courses will make them worse. These ratings affect every family in this community and the perception of our schools for years to come. I have 3 school-aged children. I sent my oldest son to a pathway outside of Tollgate at East Greenwich High School after graduating from Winman. Let me just tell you, EG and us, night and day. I chose to keep my daughter in Warwick because we believe that Warwick schools nurtured their top academic students while providing different opportunities to others. So far, Tollgate has been great, but now I regret not doing the same for her. My youngest is at Winman Middle School. He has straight A's and was denied entry into the honors program because of a student cap that my 2 other children did not have to deal with. My son earned his place and was turned away. That honors track is the best way to calculus by 12th grade, something needed by many colleges and universities. This district has made it harder and harder for motivated, capable students to access the education they deserve. And tonight, you are about to make it worse. I'm asking this committee to reject this cut, or to not cut that teacher, protect the AP courses, and protect the students. And please start making decisions that move the district forward, not backward. You haven't called my 30 seconds yet, that you're just about to. I want to just say one more thing. We have 3 ice rinks in this town. And I know that you guys aren't responsible for the vote that happened. But I will tell you one thing. Everyone's worried about, no one wants their taxes to go up. But the number one thing people look to when I chose to move to Warwick, I'm sure when other people chose to move to Warwick, was the quality of the school system. Because most people move to Warwick to raise a family, and the one thing they want to do is be able to send their kids to the school in the district and not have to go to private school. And thank God my son got into
30
East
seconds.
Greenwich. Thank you.
Thank you.
Darlene Netco, President of the Warwick Teachers Union, teacher. First, I want to express my condolences to all of our WTU members that may be receiving layoff notices as a result of your vote tonight. I know no one wants to do layoffs, and I know there could have been more, but that is small consolation to the people receiving them. And the people receiving them are not necessarily the people in these positions that are being cut based on seniority and whatnot. I'm glad that we have people here from Tollgate Science today to talk about the science situation. We had people from Welk last week, and we had Melanie Denoyan here tonight talking about the Welk situation. That's a pre-K to 12 problem that we have right now in this district. I've seen Melanie's figures. She shared them with me many times. It was a struggle to get a third DPT into that building to help with the evaluating the 3-year-olds and properly placing them. The science issue, you can multiply by all of the other cuts that you're making at the high school. English is going to suffer. Foreign language, I know at Pilgrim already has too many students being scheduled into a class. You have a class size number by contract. You cannot violate that knowingly at the beginning of the year. We have a problem still at Tollgate with foreign language. If nothing it changes, one teacher is still going to be responsible for all Italian and French classes. As previous speakers noted regarding the science, RIDE evaluates our school district based on the courses we offer. In the presentation last week regarding the budget, there was a mention of AP classes. How can you cut AP classes when in the other breath you're talking about the importance of AP classes? We need classes to cover the gamut of every child in our district, from pre-K to 12 and 12 plus. And if it requires more staffing, then that's what it requires. And then it requires going to the city to make sure that they properly fund these schools. Did we need another ice rink in the district, that in the city that's outside? No, we did not. Did we need to have that bond passed and properly advertised so people knew that it wasn't just going to school fields, but also to all of the other city recreational fields? Yes, we did need that. But beyond the fields, we need the proper staffing in our schools so that all the programs that we need can run. There's no reason why we can't have AP Bio and AP Chem. One of the teachers getting a layoff notice has chemistry cert. Once you lose people with those kind of certs, you don't get them back. Once you lose the Italian cert, you don't get them back.
30 seconds.
So I understand you have to work within this budget. I also understand the city needs to step to the plate. I know I'm going to get whacked I'm going to be responsible for raising taxes, but the schools are not. Look at the city budget, 8% more in some departments. The schools are not responsible for the 3.86 potential increase in tax rate.
Thank you, Ms. Necco.
Jacob Mador, Warwick resident, Warwick graduate, Warwick educator, and a Warwick taxpayer. As a teacher, I feel it's my responsibility to advocate for all the students. Just not students with IEPs, just not students who are athletes or might go to the career and tech, but every student, including our brightest. And those are our AP students. And I don't want to rehash about how this is going to affect the star rating or increase students going out of district, but I do want to bring another point forward. Last year's AP test scores for Tollgate and Pilgrim were outstanding. Outstanding. You had 90%, 98%, 85%, 92% passing rates. And I can go on. So to cut something that is the shining light, East Greenwich doesn't have that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Whitaker, and I'm here tonight as a mother of a child at Welk. My daughter Lily is almost 4 years old, and she is nonverbal. When she was just 8 weeks old, we were told she may never walk and she may never talk. As a parent, hearing those words changes you forever. But today, Lily is defying those odds every single day. Before this program, our world felt very uncertain. There's nothing more heartbreaking than wanting so badly to understand your child and knowing they cannot fully tell you what they need, how they feel, or what is wrong. But since attending Welk, I have watched my daughter grow in ways I honestly cannot fully put into words. She is communicating in ways she has never before. She is more confident, more engaged, more connected, and more capable every single day because of the support she receives at Welk. And I truly need to acknowledge the people behind that process. Miss Molly, Miss Tina, and Miss Emma have not just been educators to my daughter, they have been part of the foundation of helping her grow. Their patience, consistency, and compassion and belief in Lily have helped her feel safe enough to learn, communicate, and thrive. They celebrate every small victory with her, and because of that, the victories continue to grow bigger and bigger. While sitting here tonight listening to the others speak and advocate for higher education, it is incredibly inspiring, and I truly hope that years from now, I will have the privilege of standing here again advocating for Lily at those stages in her education too. But right now, I'm advocating for the positions in the classrooms and the support staff that are giving her the preparedness she needs for a life. For many people, these proposed cuts may sound like staffing changes, numbers on a budget sheet, but for families like mine, these programs are life-changing. The proposal to cut classrooms and teaching assistants is terrifying because children with higher support needs rely on consistency, structure, individualized attention, and trusted relationships throughout the school day. Those supports are not extras, they are essential. Every milestone Lily reaches matters deeply to our family because we know what the expectations once were for her. Every new skill, every moment of communication, every bit of confidence she gains is proof that early intervention and proper support can do this.
30 seconds.
I'm asking you tonight to please protect these programs, these classrooms, and incredible people like Miss Molly, Miss Tina, and Miss Emma, who are helping children like my daughter find their voice and defy the odds every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitaker.
Good evening. My name is Frank Galligan, and I'm the director of the Warwick Area Career and Technical Center. I want to say that I support seeing on tonight's agenda and within the public folder materials a drafted resolution requesting an evaluation of career and technical education programming in Warwick. Last week we heard concern from constituents regarding students attending programs out of district that are similar to the ones that we offer and leaving for reasons that we both suspect and know are not CTE related. Therefore, I believe a review of our CTE programming is both appropriate and beneficial for the public's perspective. I'm very confident that the facts and findings of such a review will demonstrate that the Warwick community continues to provide high-quality CTE opportunities across a wide range of industries that students show strong interest in year after year. We see that success every day in our classrooms, our labs, and in the accomplishments of our kids, while a significant number of our programs are at capacity with enrollments. While I cannot speak to the gentleman who spoke a few minutes ago with regards to East Greenwich and the differences there, I can say that I spoke to the East Greenwich Rotary, a room of about 30 people or so as recently as January, wanting to know how we can get East Greenwich students into Warwick for some of our programs here in a similar way that we have students from West Warwick coming in on a daily basis. That is to say, there's always room for growth, and that's why I welcome this review of our programs. Just this evening, we recognize students for their achievements relating to Skills USA. While approximately 12 students earned gold medals and will move on to the national competition, a total of 22 Warwick students earned medals overall, gold, silver, and bronze on the state level, which speaks volumes about the strength of our programs and the dedication of our staff and students here in Warwick. Additionally, our new environmental science pathway launching this fall received one of the highest ratings possible from the Rhode Island Department of Education. That program exists thanks in large part to Gregory Rowe at Pilgrim High School, who not only secured the grant funding to launch the program, but also serves as the chief architect of a pathway that partners with the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management and Save the Bay. That said, while I believe this review will reassure the public about the quality of what Warwick offers, it does not address what I would argue to be inequitable conditions created by the state's current CTE approval and comparison process. Just a few months ago, in an effort to ensure our students and our programs remain competitive, I contacted RIDE directly to ask for clarification regarding the rubrics, metrics, and standards used to determine
30 seconds.
whether programs across districts are considered substantially similar. I was informed that this information could not be provided directly and that any request would need to proceed through our legal office, a process now underway as part of the litigation Superintendent McCaffrey referenced last week. The reality is that all CTE programs in Rhode Island must already meet the same state approval standards and industry expectations established by RIDE. One would reasonably assume that such programs operating under the same state guidance would therefore be viewed similarly across districts. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. Moreover, when one calls districts to ask about specific program initiatives or approaches, it's met with reluctance to share information given the landscape that RIDE has created. So much for creating equality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi. My name's Amber, and oh crap, I'm sorry.
Amber, could you give us a last name?
Sure, Amber Perry.
Nice to meet you, Amber
Nice
Perry.
to meet you. And my daughter goes to Welk. Sorry, I'm gonna get super emotional. It's so disheartening that everybody all over the Warwick pages, people claim that the kids are our future. We have to worry about our children. We have to worry about enrollment. And then we have all of our programs that support our children are getting cut. I feel so bad for Tollgate High School right now that all of these classes for these kids who want to grow and go to college are getting cut, but mostly I feel so bad for the teachers at Welk because they support children like my daughter who has an IEP. She's level 1 autistic, and I was so fearful as a parent having our first child that she would never be able to communicate, that she wouldn't be able to be verbal, play with other children, learn, and because of Welk, because I've been so fortunate to have the best teachers. One is Miss Lori DeFusco, one is Miss Lori Jansen, and then all of the aides and teachers that have been able to help with speech therapy, occupational therapy. My daughter is now, even though she's in an IEP for having obviously autism and a speech delay, she's now in an integrated peer class, and this class has, I can't even express how much she has advanced. She has gone from having, I believe, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5 on her scores to now being 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and it's all because of this integrated class, which is now going to be cut. It is so disheartening. It is so sad. These children are our future. These kids deserve the best education, and it's being cut at a preschool level. It's just, I feel like there's gotta be other places. There's like, the mayor needs to, well, it says on his homepage that he cares about children. But unfortunately, now we're at a point where we have to fight. I'm crying at a school board meeting. Sorry again. But I am here to petition for at least my daughter's class to be able to stay as a full-day integrated class with her peers. She needs this, and I can't imagine her being cut from, well, she started when she was 3, so she had about a few months. Now this is her first full year, and she has progressed astronomically to
30
now,
seconds.
then she'd have to go to a half day that, mind you, might be in the afternoon. So now I have to figure out what to do with her during the day, to drive there, to have her go for a half day where she's going to lose all her structure, all her advancement, all her learning, who knows what kind of therapies, to then go to kindergarten and then have to go back to a full day of learning and getting used to things and new teachers and not understanding why she had a gap of a year of just, it just doesn't make sense. So I am here to beg on their behalf to keep that class, keep those teachers. These kids are our future, and we just want to support them.
Thank you, Ms. Perry.
Hello, my name is Gary Perry, and honestly, I did not plan on speaking here tonight, but I just want to piggyback off of some of the stuff my wife Amber just said. So I'm not always the best with words, so I'm just going to use Mayor Picosi's words himself off of the official webpage for the City of Warwick. And this is the first thing here under Mayor Picosi's page. As Mayor of Warwick, I am delighted to welcome you to our official city website. With the clear goal of establishing transparency as the hallmark of my administration, it is my hope that this website offers every Warwick resident a first stop to engage with your government. Here you can learn more about my administration's efforts to rebuild Warwick into a city which attracts young families and allows them to thrive for generations. In education, as we work cooperatively to restore the Warwick Public Schools to preeminent status. These cuts do the opposite of restoring the city to preeminent status. This does not attract young families to come to the city. Young families typically have young children, and this drives young families away from Warwick, and it drives other families that have been in the system already who are tired of this away from Warwick, and they leave for other schools, whether private or I guess through the Pathways program, and they just look for better opportunities elsewhere. And it's just, I don't want to just throw bombs all over the place. I have a whole lot of thoughts on this, but this just feels like it's stealing from children, and the children are our future. And I just think you need to make cuts elsewhere. That's all, just plain and simple. Like I said, I'm not always the best with my words, so that's really all I have to say. I just think that to make these kind of cuts at the preschool level at Welk, where they're arguably the most important years of a child's development, and to be doing the same thing at the high school level to AP students, it makes the future not seem bright.
30 seconds.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment? Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Ms. Townsend? No. Oh, no. Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Seeing none. We're on to recommended actions, routine matters. I'm looking for a motion to move approval of the minutes of public session on April 14th, 2026. Made by Mr. Testa and Ms. Hazelwood, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'm looking for a motion to move approval of the minutes of executive session from April 14th, 2026.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa and Ms. Hazelwood, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'm looking for a motion to move approval of the minutes of public session, April 16th, 2026.
So moved.
Made by Ms. Hazelwood, Ms. Kirby Chapman, and Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Ms. Tedeschi, you keeping up down there? Nicely done. I'm looking for a motion to move approval of the minutes of executive session of April 16th, 2026. Mr. Testa and Ms. Kirby Chapman, seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'm looking for a motion to move approval of warrants May 12th, 2026.
So moved.
Ms. Hazelwood? Second. Seconded by the next three down. Wow. Look at this. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, I turn it over to Ms. Jakes for announcements, personnel as presented.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to begin with our courtesy appointment announcements and then move on to our retirements and resignations, which require the school committee approval. Warwick Public Schools, we're excited to welcome the following staff: Alexa Tabiri as a primary AAP teacher assistant at Lippett Elementary School, Jonathan Corneau, a night custodian at Warwick Neck Elementary, Sean Waldeck, an SES program teacher assistant at Scott Elementary School, and Nicole Goulet, a kindergarten teacher assistant at Oakland Beach Elementary. Now I'm going to share the retirements and resignation that will require your vote. With 36 years, Marilyn Feeney is retiring as the assistant principal of teaching and learning at Windman Middle School. 36 years, Dean DeAndrea as a technology and visual arts department chair at Tollgate High School. With 30 years, Cheryl Hoyle, kindergarten teacher at Sherman Elementary. 38 years, Paula Reagan, elementary teacher at Norwood Elementary School. With 30 years, Eileen Seiskowitz, I apologize, math teacher at Pilgrim High School. And also with 30 years, Lynn Renzi, a reading specialist consultant at Warwick Neck Elementary. We also have 2 resignations, Carlisle Vincent, assistant controller and the admin, and Tatiana Phillips, teacher assistant, the special ed program.
We're looking for a motion to adopt the retirements and resignations as presented by Ms. Jakes.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now on to donations and correspondences. There are no donations or correspondences before this committee this evening, leading us to adoptions of policies. There are no policies before this committee tonight for first read. If there are no objections by members of this committee, I'd be looking to take all 3 of the policies before us for a second read as one packet. So I'd be looking for a motion to move approval. First off, any objection to that? No objections. I'd be looking for a motion to move approval on the copy of policy DLC, General Fund and Grant Expense Reimbursements, draft of D as in David, J as in Joseph, E as in Edward, Building Committee change orders, approval process, and copy of B, C, F advisory committees to the school committee.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. Any discussion on the policies before us for the second read? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now on to chair updates from the policy subcommittee. Any updates this evening, Ms. Kirby-Chapman, policy?
No, we had changed the date to policy because it didn't make sense. We decided as a group to do it at the beginning of the month, which was before the other committees when we're supposed to write policy for them. So we officially changed it this month to the end of the month. So we have not met yet.
Awesome. So you guys are meeting on Tuesday, May 26, 2026 at 4:30 p.m.?
Yes, and moving forward, we'll be meeting at the end of the month.
Excellent. Nice adjustment. Great work, guys. Okay, seeing that there's no other updates from the policy subcommittee, we are now on to new business. First matter of business before us this evening is a discussion presentation update on the high schools as presented by Left Field and Mr. Bates.
Good evening. Good evening. So if we can go to the next slide, please, we'll just go over a very brief agenda for this evening. We've talked at some length over the last few months about some of the challenges that we've been facing at the Pilgrim Project, including that soil contamination issue that we know well about, and the FAA restrictions that we talked about last month at some length. So I wanted to share some relatively good news on forward progress there, and then just touch quickly on the overall cost and schedule status as of this month. We can go to the next slide, please. A view facing Pilgrim Parkway, facing southwest of the overall steel erection in progress, which began in late March and is scheduled to be complete in July. The additional overtime allowance that we had talked about last month to make up for the more complicated crane logistics plan that you see in the top right there of the screen doesn't look like it would be needed based on how we're progressing so far on site, which is good news. For this type of construction project, the average number of steel pieces installed per day is around 35. Right now we're averaging just over 40 pieces per day of steel installed, and we're about 2/3 of the way complete with the structural steel erection in total. We can go to the next slide, please, and you'll see the framework of our new gymnasium at Pilgrim High School. You can see the beginnings of it there, and you can go to the next slide, and you see our auditorium. So each day you drive by, and it seems like significant progress is being made by the day. So we can quickly go to the next and final slide. Just to note that what's now under contract for the GMP for construction, and then all soft costs all our FF&E allowance that we're holding and what we're projected to spend in change orders as of right now, and that's including the forthcoming change for the DEM soils issue. At Pilgrim, we're currently within, including all that, we're currently within that $350 million approved budget. So that comprises the base scope, right, of both projects, Pilgrim and Tollgate. And that also includes 2 new multi-purpose turf fields, one at each school, of course, and the demolition of the old buildings. And as we know, the alternates are and always have been in addition to that. And that would include things like the baseball and softball field, and that would be pending additional funding. And then quickly touching on schedule, despite one of the worst winters on record in terms of both freezing temps and record snowfall, our building completion dates have not changed. We bought overtime hours within the GMP for Saturday work, and that's helped us keep on track, and we'll give a little bit of extra credit to Marguerite Concrete at Pilgrim for persevering through single-digit temps to install the concrete frost walls and footings, and kept us on schedule. And just really touching quickly on next steps. So the next couple of months are going to tell us a lot in terms of project cost exposure. And by July, we'll have both projects will be complete with structural steel, and we'll be underway with the CTC renovation. And we'll have the large cost for the contaminated soil issue is going to be under agreement at that point. So the construction risk will largely be behind us, and we'll be looking forward to providing a more detailed cost update probably over the summer between July and August. And that concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Are there any questions or comments from members of the committee? Nothing. Just great job. Every morning, 6:30, I drive into the Pilgrim parking lot, and I like to take a look at the progress on that. So you guys are doing great. You certainly made up a lot of ground since the soil contamination issue. Looking forward to hopefully my schedule allowing me to get to the south side of the city and see Titan territory and how that's coming along. So nicely done.
Thank you.
No, Mr. Bates, thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's got nothing to do with your presentation, John. I just want to, last month when you did your presentation, I was a little ticked at one of the issues that had come up, and I used language that I never used from the stage. And I want to apologize for that, because that's not how my mother raised me. So I thought about it, and I said, no, but that particular issue just got under my skin a little bit, so I just apologize.
Salty.
Anyone else have anything to say? Anything to say about Mr. Testa's language? It's like they say, Mr. Testa, you were like a social sledgehammer, right? Would that be one of your Davisms that you would use?
I don't know. I have to think about that one.
All right. Well, glad we got that off our chest now. This whole committee's going to need a therapist. Does the EAP, Ms. Jakes, does that cover us as well?
It does.
Okay, good. Because the other day it was stated that we get a stipend and benefits, so I didn't know. It was said publicly. That's fine. Don't answer. We're not going to violate any OMAs here. Thank you. We're on to item 2, discussion update, FY26 budget update. Mr. Enos.
Good evening, everyone. Fiscal year 26 is rapidly coming to a close. There are many moving parts for the end of the year. So as you're looking at the finance report, you're seeing some lines are under, some lines are over. We are tracking some of the bigger lines where we know we're going to have some savings. We do know that we're going to have some lines that we're going to be over. Our goal is to get as close to the projected deficit amount. With hopefully we can come up with a smaller amount, but there's just many parts that we have that are going on at this particular point in time. And also, I just wanted to keep you up to date in terms of our transition over to the new financial software on July 8th, 2026. We are going full steam ahead on that. In addition to all of our daily work, we still have training days, homework that is still done, but we are in good shape for that switch for the general ledger side to happen on July 8th. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from members? Yeah, Mr. Testa.
Thank you. Mr. Marinos, thank you. Any update on any FEMA reimbursements from the blizzard?
None.
Okay. When we're notified, that would come through the city, I suppose, right?
Yes, and we would, yeah, correct. So the city has a consultant that they work with, and of course, we would all be hearing about it from the Washington, because that's really where the delay still is.
Okay. Consultant doesn't take a piece of that, do they?
I'm sorry, what?
Does the consultant take a piece of that?
They probably take a portion.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Each city has their own person that does it. Some people are on staff. In this particular case, the city has a private company.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And my only question, we're still tracking about $200,000 to $300,000 over that initially estimated $2.1 million deficit that the Budget Commission identified?
That's our goal. Yep. So we still have some outliers in the special education arena, just because of the particular billing that happens with DCYF, where we don't get billed until after the fiscal year ends. And I remember when we were talking about probably trying to access some funds from West Bay Community Health that we have that we can use. So we're also looking at that as well. So just lots of moving parts so that we can really bring that final number down.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Enos. We're now on to item 3, discussion update, superintendent update as presented by Mr. McCaffrey.
Mr. Chair and members of the school committee, this school year has been very busy for teachers and students. At the secondary level, Warwick students have achieved success in academics, career and technical education, athletics, and extracurricular programming. Winman Middle School became the first middle school in Rhode Island to earn accreditation through NEASC, while Warwick veterans received positive feedback, and it's my hope in June that when the NEASC Commission reconvenes again that they will grant accreditation to Warwick veterans. The Warwick students at the Career and Tech Center, tonight we saw they earned 22 medals at Skills USA competitions, including 10 gold medals advancing to nationals in Atlanta, and the Tollgate robotics team advanced to the World Championship. At the elementary level, schools continue to show steady academic growth while building strong school communities, programs focused on small group instruction, positive school culture, attendance improvements, family engagement, and student leadership. Outside the classroom, as you are aware, the district has been under the guidance of the Budget Commission, and as recently as April 6th, the deficit reduction plan was approved by the Auditor General, which is the roadmap and the design for the budget. As you know, 2027, FY 2027, the budget process was extremely challenging. The budget is very lean. We are limited to an increase of 2.68% on an appropriation from the city, with the expectation that 0.5% would be paid back to the city during the fiscal year, which leaves very little revenue to support school programming. I would ask anyone in the Warwick school community to please attend the May 18th, possibly May 19th city finance budget session. We have not been given a definitive date when they will be hearing the school budget. It could be Monday evening as late as 10 o'clock or carried over to Tuesday afternoon, depending upon where we fall on the city council's agenda. Obviously, the finances of Warwick schools impacts many programs, has an impact on our students. I would ask that if you have the opportunity, attend the budget sessions for the city council. If you're unable to attend, I would ask that you write communications to your council members, to the mayor, in expressing your concerns and advocate for your interest for Warwick schools. Thank you. That's all I have for my budget, for my message this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Superintendent. Anybody questions or comments, thoughts for the Superintendent? No. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you highlighting the City Council's budget hearings on Monday and Tuesday next week.
I truly wish I could give a definitive date and time. Unfortunately, I cannot. In the past, we've had the opportunity to go first, or we've gone first and the second day. This year, the agenda is operating a little bit differently, as we've been told, as late as this afternoon. So any information that we do get concerning the budget meetings and hearings, we'll make sure we get them out to you if anything changes, what time they'll be.
Thank you, sir. We're now on to item 4, discussion update, culinary competition and upcoming golf tournament as presented by Frank Galligan.
That comment about not wearing a tie at the beginning of the meeting, I didn't want people to think that we coordinated, so that's why I don't have one on. Good evening, members of the school committee and members of the Warwick Public Schools Administration. As many of you know, we had quite a few fundraisers taking place in March, thanks to the immense support and generosity of community partners, particularly Sean Galligan of the Warwick School Committee, partnering with Runway 41 on Post Road, alongside Elizabeth, the owner, and her staff there. Quite a few celebrity bartenders were present, ranging from Mayor Picozzi, former Speaker of the House Joseph Shikarchi, and members of the City Council and local representatives. Additionally, we are grateful to the Rhode Island Hospitality Association and the Rhode Island Convention Center for not only their sponsorship of our students, but their overwhelming support every step of the way. And most importantly, the very proud parents, families, and community friends who ensured that our kids had this very memorable opportunity. While our students maintained a competitive advantage at the national level, they unfortunately did not place. Despite that, it does not take away from the immense pride that we have in our culinary program, the only one in the state, mind you, from the north to the south that actually competed on the national level for ProStart, and that we're already looking forward to next year's events. I would be remiss if I did not thank Mrs. Eva Niosi, our pastry arts instructor, as well as Mr. Austin Irons, our culinary instructor, for their efforts to maintain high standards and high levels of instructional rigor that continuously bring out the very best in our students. So thank you to Chefs Niosi and Irons. Finally, and with regards to fundraisers, none of these extra memorable opportunities for our kids on the national level would be possible without the hard work of our career and technical staff, and most notably our Skills USA co-advisors, Mr. Christopher Bianco and Mrs. Jill Shirtleff. For those who do not know, Skills USA is a national organization that focuses on further preparing students for fast-paced, challenging, and rewarding tenures in various industries. Students compete on the school and city level, subsequently advancing into the state and national rounds if they qualify and win through various industry competitions. Aside from mentoring the student leadership team throughout the year, Mr. Bianco and Mrs. Shirtleff are instrumental in overseeing multiple fundraisers that benefit our national competition, most notably our annual golf tournament coming up on Sunday, June 14th at the Cranston Country Club. The tournament starts at 1:30, and the $150 per person ticket includes a dinner, greens fees, carts, prizes, and a donation to support the 12 students participating in the annual Skills USA competition in Atlanta, Georgia. The golf tournament provides invaluable subsidies to ensure all eligible students from Warwick or wherever they come to our city for our CTE programs get the chance to participate in the 4-day national competition without incurring a financial hardship or burden on the family. Finally, the tournament prizes include hole-in-one prizes, closest to the pin prizes, and many other giveaways. The day features a scramble format with male divisions, female divisions, and mixed divisions. It's a memorable day filled with great food, good friends, and a relaxing time on the golf course for a great cause. So while I know that this is coming the day after the Gatsby Day Parade and festivities, if this interests you, I hope you'll consider joining us. Registration and additional information can be found on our website. It's open to all people across the city and anyone who has an interest in golf. Simply search Warwick Career in Tech for our website to find this information. Thank you, as always, to everyone here, especially to members of our school committee, and our community and our school administration for all of your continued support.
Any members of the committee with comments for Mr. Galligan. Ms. Hazelwood.
What if I don't golf, but I'd still like to participate?
We certainly would welcome you there that day in whatever capacity you'd like. If you'd like to help volunteer, if you'd like to just be present and just enjoy the day, you're more than welcome to join us. We would always love for more people to be there. The more the merrier. It's just a great event to be part of.
I think Mr. Bianco, Ms. Hazelwood, sells, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he sells meals, right, Bill? Yeah, excuse me, Superintendent. I think he sells dinner tickets, the Superintendent just confirmed. So if you want to just attend the dinner, it's a pretty good
I can
dinner.
hang out with Denise Galligan.
She's not invited. It's a boys' day, excuse me. Just the guys out.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure my mother would love that, though, to go on the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? All right. We're now on to item 5. I'm looking for a motion to move approval on the discussion action, approval of agreement for C3 Wellbeing Student Assistance Services.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr.
Second.
Wiggins. Any discussion on this item? Mr. Testa.
Thank you. Mr. Enos, this is something I think we're mandated to require, to provide?
So this was the company formerly called Rhode Island Student Assistant Services. So they provide counseling services to the secondary schools. This year, the city had picked up the covering the cost of that. They're using the opioid funding that they have, which was very well funded for this past year, and they keep getting funds in. I have already sent this contract over to City Finance and asked her to approach the City Council about asking them to cover the payment again.
Do we have a dollar amount on what this is? Because this contract doesn't list it.
I was wondering that myself. This past year, we paid $152,000.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you'll keep us apprised as far as who's going to, we didn't bake this into our budget, did we?
No.
No, okay.
Based on conversations that I've had with the city in the fall.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Tester, it's approximately the same dollar amount.
Okay, thank you.
They
Any other-
typically send their invoices out after we create our budget. Typically, the end of June, we'll receive an invoice from the student assistance counselors.
Any other comments from members of the committee? Ms. Kirby-Chavin.
So just question, it says that we are identifying students to participate. How are we identifying students to participate?
Not my area. Maybe the superintendent knows.
The student assistance counselors are housed in the house at secondary schools. They work with students within the secondary schools. Obviously, they have contact with the parents, and they have input from the parents, but they're there as a support system. It is very successful. It does make a big difference, and it keeps kids on track.
Well, that was my next question about, I'm sure this is a great program. I'm just asking, because it's saying sufficient use and access to the school student data management system, the demographic, academic attendance, their involvement, family contact information. Is this all parent permission information, or do parents know about these kids that are in these programs?
The parents will know. The student assistance counselors are entitled to the information that legally they're required to receive. Anything they're not required to receive, we don't provide that information.
But when you say required, are parents giving permission to put the kids in
The parents are
programs?
aware that they're in the programs, yes.
Okay.
Ms. Hazelwood.
And I just have something to add. Usually, these students seek out the student. They do. They seek them out, the assistant counselor. And so the relationship is formed, and the parents are usually aware, okay?
Thank you. Any other comments from members of the committee? Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item, I'm looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, WTU layoffs.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. At this time, discussion occurred within executive session. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Tedeschi for a roll call. Ms. Tedeschi, if you want to start down the end, work your way back.
Mr. Testa?
Aye.
Mr. Wiggins?
Aye.
Ms. Kirby Chapman?
No.
Ms. Hazelwood?
No.
Mr. Galligan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item before us, I'm looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, modified legal counsel contract.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'd be looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, approval of central administration contract templates.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'd be looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, resolution to authorize programmatic audit.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. I docketed this resolution and sponsored it for us to begin to evaluate the district. Yeah, and I would look for any support from members of my committee on this programmatic audit, so that way we could determine where we need to enhance our funding and where we need to ensure that we maintain compliance. So, any other comments regarding this resolution?
Nope.
And this is authorizing the district to go on to performing that programmatic audit. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Last but not least, looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, resolution to evaluate redistricting.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. This resolution I docketed. This also is it's redistricting and school consolidation if necessary. It's looking at current enrollment and prospective enrollment for the school district to determine long-term if we have the adequate number of buildings we need based on current class sizes and the like. So and forecasted class sizes for the next several years. Some might ask, wouldn't this be done within the programmatic audit? And the answer to that would be yes. That will be a part of it as well. However, in the prior vote, we authorized the district to start to evaluate the programmatic audit. In this resolution, we're asking the district to begin the process of evaluating redistricting and consolidation. So, any comments, questions on this?
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
I would say,
Mr.
I mean, it's very easy. Some people will just look at what the population is in a building and just say, well, look, it could hold so many more. But it's just like I mentioned at the budget. You have to look at what comprises the line. So you'd have to look at what kind of classes are in these buildings. You could have a school that has programs that the classes by definition would have a handful of students in them. Could be a special ed program or something like that. So that school may look like it's underutilized, but as a practical matter, it's not. So that I think would be a good outcome of this too, so people can get a good understanding of what exactly a population in a school really means. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Any other comments? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to move approval, discussion action, resolution requesting presentation of career and technical education pathways from administration.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. I docketed this resolution and I'm sponsoring the request for the administration to come before the school committee. And what we want to see is what are the programs that we're offering here in Warwick, what are the programs the top 5, 6, or 7 districts are offering elsewhere, and then comparing how many of those we offer to get a good idea of how many students are leaving our district for programs that we offer, and then putting a dollar figure to that, so that way we have an idea up here and we can stand behind the budget even further that we're being forced with. So that's essentially what the evaluation is, and also from that evaluation as well is identifying what programs we might not be offering that we should consider start to offer. So. Any other comments on this?
Yes.
Mr. Testa.
Thank you. In addition, I fully support this. I mean, this has been a thorn in my side for years. as part of this, when we look into it, I would like for you guys to give the committee the following. The number of students who go to charters broken down by charter school. So if we have 10 kids going to the Met, 20 kids going to Highland or wherever. With respect to pathways, I would like to know how many students we have going to each district by district. If we can find out what program they're in, that would be nice to know. But most importantly to me, I would like to know what the ride per pupil cost is, because it's not the money that flows back and forth between the sending and receiving distance isn't your per pupil cost by taking your budget and dividing it by a number of students. That's not it. There's a ride formula for that. So I would like to know what our ride formula is, what the receiving district's ride formula is, and what we actually send the receiving district, because it's a stupid formula, to be honest. Because the delta, and what we're going to find out, is that virtually every district that receives our kids makes money on our kids. It's a profit. It's a profit center. And, you know, Pathways was described to me by a former superintendent as school choice by another name, right? And it's not funded as such. So when you rob Peter to pay Paul, you never get an argument out of Paul, right? So if I'm a lower cost district recruiting all these kids from Warwick, I make money on every one. My overhead doesn't go up when I take an extra 30 or 40 kids, spread out among 4 grades. My overhead doesn't change, right? It's just money that I make. And that's why there's a vested interest in those districts. To what the other Mr. Galligan's point was, I find it stunning that you ask RIDE for the rubrics on how they determine what a substantially similar program is, and they refer to the legal department. That's stunning to me. Absolutely stunning to me. So it tells me that they're going to hide behind the lawyers, right? And it should be open. That's fine. It should be an open process. That's fine. Tell us what it is, right? But I think the emperor has no clothes, and I think that's why that they're holding that so close to their vest. So I fully support this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Any other comments regarding this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're on to discussion actions relative to approvals of FY26 May expenditures. I'm looking for a motion to move approval on change orders as presented.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to move approval on the general funded budgeted requisitions
So moved.
as presented. Made by Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins and Ms. Hazelwood. All those in favor?
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Enos, one of the general funded items is the Clifton Larson Allen LLP, the audit of our budget, right?
Yes,
This is the same auditor that the city uses,
correct.
right? So we always piggybacked on them.
Correct.
I noticed they charge a technology and client support fee of $2,428, right? It's an audit. It's part and parcel of their office. That's what they do. I don't know why they charge us for that. I wonder if they charge the city a similar line item. And this is the same auditing firm, I presume, that audited us in 2024, didn't find
Correct.
a deficit, but then all of a sudden there was a deficit. So,
Yes, sir.
interesting. So,
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you.
Any other comments from members of the committee? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion approval on the grant-funded requisitions as presented.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa. I'll second it. And Mr. Wiggins, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And give me 1 second. Looking for a motion to move approval on the bid awards as presented.
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Hazelwood. Any discussion on the bid awards? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now on to the second public comment period of our meeting. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and the administration alike will be respectful of each other's right to speak, tolerant of different points of view, and mindful of everyone's time. This public comment period is for general comments or concerns. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record. Again, those who joined the meeting late, it's the podium down here to the left. If you spoke earlier in the meeting, you're more than welcome to again speak, 3 minutes per person, and it could be on any topic.
Hi, Joshua Myers again. You guys just voted to approve all those cuts, and then we heard about how we think that other districts are making money off of our students. But why isn't our approach to try to make our district the one that people want to come to? Like, that's what I can't figure out. We have a biomedical pathway that we're trying to start at Tollgate High School, and we're not going to offer AP classes. So do you think that that's going to go over like a lead balloon? How are we going to recruit other kids? All our kids, guess where they want to go? North Kingstown, because they offer AP classes in an engineering program. So my question for you guys, and I don't know if you're allowed to comment back, is obviously you guys were handed a pile, and you guys are trying to manage your pile, right? But what can we do besides go to the budget meeting where they're not going to want us to show up, and they're going to put it at 10 o'clock at night? What else can we do in order to help you fund what we need? That's my question. I don't know if you guys are allowed to respond.
Sir, we're not able to comment back during session, but I'll certainly come see you right when this ends. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Perry once again, and after hearing all of these wonderful people, all of these teachers who are about to lose their job, how you can sit there and say yay to, but I understand there's a budget cut. Everywhere has to. I know this. I'm not from Rhode Island. I'm from New York. But in Rhode Island, I've come to realize there's a lot of schools, and there is a lot of empty space. But how are you going to fill these classrooms? How are you going to give these kids an education if you're firing all the teachers and sitting there as we're telling you the problems? There's kids going to college that want AP courses. Can't have them. We're going to fire everyone. Preschool level, my child in an IEP, who I'm telling you is thriving because of the peer integrated class that she's in. Gonna get cut though, because now it's gonna be divided into 2 classes so that the state can make more money off half day, age 3, age 4. I can't understand as a parent, and I'd love to know if everyone here has children. I know a few of you do, because I looked you all up online, and I know that most of your home pages state how education is so important and the children are the future and how we all need to make sure they grow and they have support. And how are they going to have support if we take everything away from them? I don't understand. It makes no sense. We're going to fire everybody and the state's going to be left with nothing. Enrollment, 20% down. It's going to keep going down. People like me, I'm not going to keep my kid in Warwick schools if it keeps up like this. There's going to be no support. She's going to have nothing, and then she's going to go to kindergarten after maybe having a half day. I'm going to have to go now find something else to have her in a full day. Maybe private school, maybe I'll move. Maybe I won't pay taxes anymore, and I'll move to a different place to pay taxes so my kid can actually use the money that we're paying for. Okay, that's it. I won't cry this time. Go team.
Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Hello? I'll speak with you after we break.
I can't wait. Nice to meet you in person.
Hello, Darlene Netco. Tollgate does have that biomedical pathway. Our schools do have pathways. They need to be promoted better. But as the previous speaker mentioned, you can't be cutting all of the other classes that aren't currently in those pathways. Once you cut a position, we never get it back. Windman has a business teacher, Vets does not. You cut the only business teacher. We used to have a thriving business program. We have 1 business teacher at Tollgate, 2 at Pilgrim, 1 at Windman. Many of the we do have a CTC pathway at our not pathway, we have a CTC program in business at our career center. However, we also need to have the CTE pathway in the high school in business that kids are leaving the district for. I know we have the budget problem, and yes, what can you do in addition to maybe being able to speak at a city council meeting and waiting all night in order to do it? I was there last night, all night, in order to do that on another school-related matter. You call, if you live in Warwick, you call your city councilman, you write your city councilman, and I say man because they're all men. You call your city councilman, you write, you talk to them, you speak to the mayor, you call the mayor, you write the mayor. And I know our school committee is investigating going after these other districts to get our kids back. The crime here is ride, not saying that anything is substantially similar when we know we do. Ponagansett in North Kingston, I said this before, got in on the ground floor. They have inferior programs to other programs in the state, yet nothing else has been called substantially similar. We have the same music classes that kids go to Ponagansett to take. Our previous superintendent used to call it the Fame Academy. We have the same business classes here in Warwick that kids take at North Kingston, but we don't have the fields and the sports and the so on. You know, when a whole bunch of Warwick kids are on a winning sports team in North Kingston, that's a crime. The amount of money that
30
leaves the
seconds.
district. So we need to we need to keep what we have. Remember, we had marine environmental as an 8th class in the day. We lost that. We didn't get that back. We've got programs now in our science classes at Tollgate that are trying to recreate that, but you cut the positions. We need the positions back. We need to advocate on the city side for the schools. And if it means calling your councilman, then do it. It means writing them, putting everything in writing, then do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. My name's Roberta Meservi. I'm a teacher assistant at Welk. And I just wanted to speak to the budget cuts there and the proposed 7 positions for the float TA. As previously discussed, the consistency is very important in our classrooms, not just the classrooms that are AAP, but integrated and the IASC. The language that's used in those classrooms is important. Children sometimes are triggered by strangers who maybe don't know that particular program, don't know those kids. Additionally, those 7 floats can also be sent throughout the district, which is another level of uncertainty. And if we don't know the classes that we're going to, we're not going to know the kids, we're not going to know the programs. How are we supposed to help them? And I get the idea of 7 floats, and it sounds flexible, and we'll just plug and play, but it's not going to be that easy. And I just want you to be aware of that. It sounds good, but I think it's going to be fraught with problems. Thank you.
We're now on to our next item on the agenda, docket session. Does anyone on the, oops, okay.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Caitlin Greeley. I'm a parent of 2 children who have attended the Warwick Early Learning Center. and both of my children have participated as community peers in the program. My daughter is currently enrolled in the full-day program, and I've seen firsthand how valuable WELC is, not only for children receiving services, but also for all children and families in the Warwick community. My daughter especially has benefited tremendously from the full-day preschool program, as opposed to my son, who attended half-day. And that was the only thing that was available at that time. The consistency, structure, and support she receives every day have helped her grow socially, emotionally, and academically. I would also echo the need for consistent TAs. She has 2 in her classroom, and they've formed a bond, and it's very important for her and for the other children. Teaching assistants are essential to maintaining safe, supportive, and effective classrooms, and reducing staffing will directly affect the quality and education and services that students receive. WELC is an incredibly important resource for Warwick families, and programs like this strengthen our entire school community. I respectfully urge you, and I know that your hands are somewhat tied, but and I will be attending the city council meetings next week, if budget does align with allowing this service to continue, I would ask you what you would do in order to make sure that that happens. I would respectfully urge you to maintain these full-day preschool options and existing services, and continue supporting the staffing levels needed to provide high-quality early childhood education. Thank you.
All set. Good. Sean Galligan, 14. Oh, you'd like to? You can go right now. I'll go next after. You go first. You sure? Yeah, you go first. Okay. Sean Galligan, 14 Pilgrim Drive, Ward 2, father of 3 students actively enrolled within Warwick Public Schools, ages 10, 8, and 6. I'm here before you today. I took off my lapel pin, not as a school committee member, because it's becoming more and more embarrassing to wear the pin that says City of Warwick. And I say that because as a graduate of Warwick Public Schools, and we hear about how people, Mrs. Perry I think brought it up, we hear about how people pick this city. We heard about how schools, communities are built around schools, and that couldn't be anything but further from, that is absolutely certain. Excuse me, my mind is all messed up because I'm frustrated at the moment, but my wife and I, we both graduated from Warwick Public Schools, and we chose to buy our house here in Warwick on Pilgrim Drive. Where else would 2 people buy a home that met at Pilgrim, right? But on Pilgrim Drive. And our kids are now going into those schools. And now I'm looking and I'm going, first let me get involved as possible to make the schools the best they can be. And let me give 150% of my energy to this district to make things the best they possibly could be. And I just feel like I'm walking against a current that I'm not going to be able to beat. And it's not because of the people up here or over here. It's because we as a city have not prioritized education the way we should. And Ms. Necco gets up here and she says, we need more teachers, we need more teachers. And I'm going to tell Ms. Necco, you're 100% wrong. You're 100% wrong. You can't have teachers if you don't have money. We need a budget, and we need that budget to be funded accordingly. And we need to prioritize education like we prioritize all other city services. And I'm saying this as a father of 3 kids, the level of disappointment I have in this city. For 16 months, going to city council chambers, engaging with other elected officials, going to the State House. I went one day with Ms. Necco, Ms. Townsend, many others, and we testified, and we said, this budget commission, it's gonna destroy Warwick Public Schools. They're gonna just look at numbers on a piece of paper. They're not gonna put children behind it. Well, who was right? Who was right? The taxpayer in good standing with now 3 children in Warwick Public Schools, forced to take, I was about to use a bad word there, what I would consider the bare minimum. We are now, I was speaking to someone on the way here that reached out to me via email. I've gotten a litany of emails of people saying, please don't cut this, please don't cut that. We have $5, but we need 8. But we should have 10. we should be prioritizing the schools accordingly. So all I'll say is we are giving the children of Warwick Public Schools today the bare minimum, the least amount that we could possibly give to them. And it's not because anyone up here on this stage or anyone over here wants to give them any less. And I'm just infuriated as a father of three. And I'll tell you right now, the decisions of this city, not this school committee, have certainly this individual considering where his children go. Thank you.
Hi, Gary Perry again, and is it Mr. Galligan? Okay, Mr. Galligan, I have to disagree with you because it does seem like there are some people on this committee that don't care as much as others on this committee about the future of our children. And no offense, Mr. Tessa, but you kind of sound a little bit like a robot. You only seem to care about numbers. You don't really seem to care about solving problem that families are facing. We're supposed to be attracting young families to this city and setting our children up for success in the future. But it just seems like the answer is to just, let's close more schools or let's lay off more teachers. And I know we have probably like roughly 90% of the teachers in our city at like getting paid at the top step, but they don't have the ability to just retire and stuff because they've had benefits cut from them. So, like for example, you know, they'll receive their medical for a few years, but then after that they get kicked to Medicare. That's garbage, in my opinion. And again, not to paint people with a broad brush or anything, and some of this doesn't have to do with you guys, but I own a business in this city. I'm a local contractor. I'm very aware of a lot of the things that go on, and I think our fire department and our police department do an outstanding job. And I don't think that they deserve criticism or anything, but everybody is very critical of the teachers all the time, and the answer is, everybody's answer seems to always be, let's take more from the teachers, let's take more from the kids, and it's not right. You have DPW's workers in the city that drive around in circles all day, sleep in their trucks. I know because I see it. I work in all the neighborhoods throughout the city, and you want to cut teachers that are actually making an impact on children's lives, and you have people that just driving around in circles all day, sleeping in their trucks. Cut elsewhere. Cutting from the school department, cutting from teachers, taking away from benefits so that they can't retire, and we can get younger teachers in here that maybe are you know, being paid less initially. I feel like that is more practical than, I honestly don't know what else to say. I'm just disgusted, and I disagree with you, Mr. Galligan. It seems like there are people on the committee that aren't that invested, and they just look at numbers, and they don't look at actually solving problems. You can look at all the numbers you want.
30 seconds.
You're looking at the wrong thing. You're just not looking at the right thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's John Schmidt. My kids go to Pilgrim and Vets. My son is Jacoby. He goes to Pilgrim. My daughter is Natalie. She goes to Vets. And I'd love my daughter, Natalie, to go to the Career and Tech Center because, as we heard tonight, there's a lot of fabulous things that happen at the Career and Tech Center. But the one problem with that is that the Career and Tech Center does not have the schedule and system in place to graduate students. I had a letter read a couple months ago at the last school committee meeting because I couldn't make it. So here I am tonight to say it again. The schedule and system in place at the Warwick Area Career and Tech Center will not graduate students. There are new graduation requirements in place for the class of 2028 and beyond. That's current sophomores and current freshmen. They have new requirements, different from what the seniors and the juniors have. I know this because my job is Career and Technical Education Director at a different school district. This is my job, is to figure this out. And so, when I know that the state is mandating for kids in career and tech centers to have 17 academic credits in their schedule, made up of English and math and science and social studies, and now, for the new classes, world language and college preparatory courses, I know that classes in culinary or cosmetology, well, they are fabulous, and they give kids an outstanding career experience. They do not count for those 17 classes. And the current schedule and system in place at the Career and Tech Center gives kids 14. That's less than 17. Kids will not graduate if something doesn't change. Kids who are sophomores right now, at the end of next year, will have 11 credits based on your schedule, 11 academic credits. Plenty of other career and tech experiences, 11 academic credits. How are they going to get to 17 by the end of their senior year? If you're a parent and you're listening to this, and you ask these questions like I did to as many people in Warwick and the state of Rhode Island and everybody I could think of who would have answers, the answers I got were, I don't know. That's not okay for this school system. This is a system, which means that everybody in this room, whether you're administration, teachers, union, public, anybody, everybody here is obligated to figure this out. No one is allowed to say it's their fault. No one's allowed to say, well, we've done it for this number of years, so this is how we're going to keep doing it. That's not fair. That doesn't solve the problem. What we need to do is solve the problem. Not blame, not point fingers, not shame anybody. I'm not here to embarrass anybody. I'm here to say that if something doesn't change, nothing will change. Sophomores will not graduate. Freshmen will not graduate. My daughter will not get the opportunity to go to the Career and Tech Center because she will not graduate. I do not know how more plainly and clearly I can say it. I've said it to as many people as possible. I say, what's the plan? And everybody says,
30 seconds.
Everybody says, I don't know. That's not enough. That's not fair. That's not right. We can't do it that way. There has to be a change. It has to be immediate. It has to be long-lasting. And it's the kind of change that would solve many of the things that people are talking about with being unsatisfied with the district. If we can build a plan that gets kids to graduate at the excellent career and tech center that we have, we start to solve problems instead of blaming each other.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melanie Denoyan. I'm taking off my DPT pet hat and going back to my 12 years of teaching special ed preschool. I think you people here underestimate the ability and the expertise of our TAs. I always said my classroom was only as good as my TAs. I come in and I depended on them. They could sometimes run the room for me. Sometimes bringing in another TA that didn't know my students, I said I'd rather not have anyone because I have to teach them how to teach my children. We have great TAs at Welk. You can't just get rid of them. It becomes a safety issue. I went into teaching because I thought I was going to do great things, not just keep kids safe. I wanted to do my job to the best of my ability, give them the best I could do, and do it with fidelity. Well, you can't with one TA in some of those rooms. It won't happen. I've done it. It doesn't happen. And then they go searching for TAs, and then I have to take time away and try to train these people. It's a safety issue. Someday you guys are going to get sued. I'm telling you right now. Or these kids are going to end up out of district, which is going to cost you money. I always say, pay now instead of later. A lot of these kids come to Welk, and believe it or not, in 3 years, they're out of special ed. Isn't it better to pay now when they're young instead of in the future when it's going to cost you twice as much? Think about that. Like I said, I have these TAs, because I've worked in other districts, I have never met such a fine, professional group of people in my life. They're just the creme de la creme, and we need all the TAs in those classrooms. Again, would you want to put your child or your grandchild in a room that wasn't safe? Think about it. Think about anyone that has special needs children or knows people. You're putting 8 of them in a room with one TA, 12 of them in a room with one TA, one's in the bathroom, one gets hurt. It's not safe. It is not safe. Think about safety, and then you're going through the day just trying to keep everybody safe. That's not education. That's not what I signed up for when I came to Warwick. But that's why I got out of the classroom at one point, because I said, I'm not doing what I was supposed to do. And I couldn't do it with fidelity. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment? Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment? Seeing none, we're on to docket session. Mr. Testa, anything you'd like to docket for the next meeting? No? Mr. Wiggins, anything you'd like to docket? Ms. Kirby-Chop? No? Ms. Hazelwood? No, I have nothing to docket for the next meeting. We're on to future meetings. The next Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, May 14th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. The next Policy Subcommittee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 26th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. The next Building Subcommittee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 at 7:30 a.m. The next monthly School Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. The Fiscal Subcommittee meeting is still TBD. Being that there's no other matters of business before this committee, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn. Made by Ms. Hazelwood and Mr. Testa. Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries at 8:14.